Y'all just bear with me. Um, I found out 2 hours ago I was going to be up here, so I didn't prepare anything specifically for tonight. But as I began to pray, God began to deal with me about just share myself with you guys. Um, I want to first read one scripture tonight, and this is going to be the scripture for the night that we can take hold on to. And it's going to be Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Have I not commanded you, be strong and of good courage? Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And as I was thinking about tonight, you look around at this world we live in, you see a lot of pain, hurt, misery. There's nothing in this life to look forward to. You see so much hatred and bitterness in this world. People do not like people. They hate people. You either believe what I believe, like what I like, or I'll just kill you. You don't matter. You look at the government that we have, you see all the things unfolding. They're trying to come up with a peace treaty. They want to build the third temple. You see all these things unfolding that the Bible has already told us about. Our time here is really short. Our time is really short. I remember growing up, my grandparents, and this was back probably in the 80s, 1980s, when I was a teenager. My grandparents, they would always tell us about how bad the world is now, and, it looks terrible. If they was alive now, they would be so disappointed. They would be heartbroken. They would really say it's really bad now. But we're living at the time where our redemption draws nigh. And for the world, for people that live in the world, they see the world, they have no hope. And I think that's where all the anger and the bitterness come from, because they have been deceived in the things of this world, and want the things of this world, that they are deceived, they're angry, they're bitter. And it's sad to look at it, but we as Christians, we're different. This is not our home. We're just passing through. But it's so easy to get caught up in the things of this world. It's so easy for our relationship with God to become a habit. A routine, a work. We do our work and we good. We get up, we pray, we may pray, may not pray, read our Bible, go here, go there, do this, do that, and we fulfilling all these boxes for a Christian to be in. But are we having that one-on-one relationship with God that goes beyond the box work? And so I just want to go back with me, because I can't speak for nobody else. I can't speak for any of you guys. I've not walked in y'all's shoes. You've not walked in mine. But I can just tell you what God has done in me, what he's doing in me. And maybe it can encourage you, or maybe you can encourage me with something you've been through. I mean, it's not all about me, and it's not all about you. It's about all of us together. We're family. But I'm going to say that, like, within the last year and a half, God has really shaking me up in a lot of ways. He's waking me up in a lot of ways. Places that had went to sleep, places that was never awakened in me. God has really begun to do things in my life. And some of the stuff is simple stuff that I'm going to talk about. Some of it is going to be like, really? Seriously? You bringing that up? But I won't be transparent. I won't be honest. I mean, but God began to do some things in my life, because I was doing some reading one night, and I was reading on Job, and it was talking about how he was a man of integrity. It talked about how God knew Job in a way that he could trust Job. He knew Job's heart. That when the enemy came, he said, have you tried my servant Job? Because he knew Job. He knew Job's intention. He knew Job's heart. He knew that his love for him was sincere. It was real. It wasn't that Job was doing the routine things of the day. He was checking off his boxes, but he had a love, a passion, and desire. He wanted to serve God. God was his life. And so he was a man of integrity because what he stood for in public, he stood for in private. He loved God and served God everywhere he went. Even when he was by himself, it was all about God. He had that love and that compassion that God seen it inside of him. And to me, that amazed me that God seen that in him. And so God began to deal with me about being a man of integrity. And that's what we all are called to do. We're all called to be men and women of integrity, that we're to walk according to everything this word tells us to do. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I fail. I don't meet the mark sometimes like I'm supposed to. I'm not perfect. But I try my best to serve God. But God began to deal with me about being a man of integrity, that my life reflects Christ in everything I do, in everywhere I go, in whom I'm around, or when I'm by myself, that my life is to reflect who Christ is. It's not just a duty. It's not just a job. It's not just the Christian thing. My heart needs to belong to God completely. I need to love God completely with everything that's in me. And I think a lot of times we as Christians, we miss it. We get so occupied in filling a role that we see what a Christian is supposed to be, till we lose out on that relationship with God that brings that communion together so that we can be what God called us to be. Because the works is not going to do it. It's good to do works. It's good to serve. It's good to take care of people. It's good to clean the church. It's good to teach classes. It's good to minister to people. It's good to do things. Those are works, and that's evidence of being a Christian, but you got to have that relationship with God. And a lot of times that gets left out. And in my life, I had gotten to that point. It became a routine. I get up, I read my Bible, I pray, I go to work, I come home, I listen to Christian music, I read my Bible, I prayed, I come to church. I checked all boxes that I was doing. I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. But parts of us, sometimes we get cold. We kind of get disappointed in life. We get disappointed in the things we don't see, things we want to see. And sometimes we get dry, we get cold, and we're not in that place with God where we need to be at. And so God began to tell me, you're doing things, but where am I in your life? Where's our relationship at? And God began to wake me up and to deal with me about things. And it was simple things that God began to show me that I was doing, that it's not necessarily crimes or whatever. Some of the simplest things were going to town, go shopping, pick up something, look at it. Oh, I'm going to get this, and then change your mind and just set it down. God's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't need that. Is that where it goes? Is that where you got it from? You got to be a man of integrity. Go put it back where you got it from. You don't do that. And I was like, no. And then, this is going to sound kind of gross to some people, but, we live in an apartment complex. We have a beautiful dog. Her name's Zoe. Beautiful dog. Great dog. Greatest dog I ever had in my life. Unfortunately, she has to go outside and potty. And the rules of our apartment complex, if they take them out, you have to clean up when they use the restroom. Well, here I am at 5 o'clock in the morning, taking her out to use the bathroom. It's dark. She used the bathroom. All right, let's go back inside. And God's like, where you going? Ain't you supposed to be getting that up? So here I am at 5 o'clock with my phone, turned the flashlight on, trying to get up, waste. And it sounds silly, but God's like, you're supposed to be a man of integrity, even when you're by yourself, even when nobody's around you. At 5 o'clock in the morning, there's nobody out there. It's just me and my dog. Could have walked off and left it, no big deal. Nobody would know the difference. But God is right there with us every step that we make. My life is to represent who He is. The word tells us that we are the light of this world. It doesn't say Jesus is going to come back and light the world, that we're supposed to be the light. That when I'm at work, my coworkers are supposed to see Christ in me. When I'm at the grocery store, people there should see Christ in me. Wherever I'm at, Christ is supposed to be seen through me. And so I had to take a long look at me and see, is Christ being represented in my life? Am I being a man of integrity? Yes, I know this word, but am I walking this word out every single day of my life? Going back to the world and situations in, it's hard not to get distracted sometimes. You see things, you see the earthquakes, you see the floods, you see the wars, the rumors of wars, you see the fighting, you see the hatred, you see racism everywhere, you see families falling apart, anger, bitter with each other, can't have family reunions, can't come together, can't have anything to do with each other. Children hate parents, parents don't like children. I mean, it's just a constant battle in this world. Everywhere you look, there's a battle here, there's a battle there. There's confusion everywhere. We got to keep our eyes focused on God. We got to keep our eyes focused on who He is. We got to make sure that we are who He says we are. There's been times I've gotten, God's told me to do some things that sometimes I don't like doing. I'll be honest with you. Some things He tells me to do, I don't like doing, but I have to be obedient. I've learned sometimes I have to get myself in front of a mirror and just sit there and stare at myself and not look at my appearance, but look inside of who I am. Is this inner man walking in the things of God like he's supposed to? Am I speaking the things that I'm supposed to be speaking? Am I thinking the things that I'm supposed to be thinking? Am I looking at things I'm supposed to be looking at? Am I meditating on His word? Am I walking in love and compassion for others? And I'm saying all this because we are in this time to where Jesus could come back at any moment. He could come back at any moment. We may not make it home tonight. The most people that are deceived are people that are in the church. That is where the most deception is taking place, is in the church. Because too many people have made God to become the God they want Him to be and not who He says He is. They want Him to allow them to do what they want to do to make their life comfortable, to make their life enjoyable, but yet still be a Christian. But the Word goes back and tells us that we have to crucify ourselves. Not that we live, but Christ lives in us. And crucifying is it's terrible, it's painful, it hurts. It's having to say no to what I desire, no to what I want. You know, it's not easy. And I'm not up here saying it's easy, because I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody but myself, because I know me. I know what I do. I know what I go through. I know what God tells me to do. I know I'm not the only one. But I just want to encourage everybody tonight to really be aware of what you're doing, where you're going, the steps that you're walking in. Is it the steps ordained of God, or are you walking your path and wanting God to bless it? You know, what are we doing with our life? Do we really, truly represent who Christ is? We need to take a real good look at ourselves. Ask God, Lord, if I'm missing you someplace in my life, let me know. Show me, lead me, guide me, direct me. I want my life to represent you. And then when He speaks to us, we got to become obedient and do what He tells us to do. Even if it's simple as putting something back where you got it from. God don't always ask us to do great and mighty things. It's not always the great and mighty things. A lot of times it's the small things that He asks us to do that we refuse to do. And then we wonder why God don't bless us, wonder why God's not doing this, why God's not doing that. A lot of times because we're disobedient. And tonight it's not supposed to be a word about gloom and doom, but it's supposed to be about making sure that who I am is who God says I'm supposed to be. Making sure that I don't get deceived. I don't get caught up in fulfilling duties to make me look like a Christian. I want to be a Christian. I want a life that's sold out to God. I want that relationship with God to where he knows me, to where when the enemy comes by, he can say, hey, what about my servant Ronnie right there? He loves me. He cares about me. He wants me. He serves me. What about him? Have you tried him? I want that about my life. I want that to be who I am. I want my life to make a difference to people. I don't want to be considered a good person. I want people to say, I seen Christ in him. It's not about being a good person. It's not about pleasing people. It's about being obedient to God and about doing what he's called us to do. And like I said, that's not going to be comfortable. I've had to learn to walk away from conversations at work. I've had to learn to distance myself from people that I really care about. But I've had to distance myself from them because they did not want to live a godly life. They don't pursue God. And I can't allow them to pull me away from God. Sometimes we have to make choices. There's family. I love my family. I love every one of my children. I love every one of my grandchildren. I love all of them. But I can't be a part of everybody's life because I can't say sin is okay. I can't say it's all right. I can't say it's okay to live like this and it's not right. But God's called us to be a light in this world, that we're supposed to make a difference. We're supposed to represent who God is, not represent our desires, our wants, but his wants, his desire, his will. And it's so, like I said, it's hard. It's hard. I'm not sitting up here saying, oh, it's easy. I got it made. No. I struggle. I fight. I have to crucify this flesh. I have to tell myself no a lot of times. There's thoughts that come to my head. I have to rebuke it because it's not of God. But at the end of the day, he's coming back soon. I want to be ready. I don't want to be deceived into thinking that I'm okay when I'm not okay. I don't want to be deceived thinking that I'm ready to go if he steps back and I get left behind. I got family that are not living the life they're supposed to be living. They need to see God in me. They need to see God in me. My co-workers, they need to see God in me. If they're not seeing God in me, then what are they seeing? And like I said, I'm not trying to be a gloom and doom person. This is not gloom and doom. We're not supposed to be. I want us all to have that desire and that passion. That when we wake up in the morning, we're excited to go out and show who God is. That we're excited to tell others about who Jesus is. That we're excited to tell people what God has done for us and not hold back. I got a little testimony about my daughter. I've been praying over my kids for years and years and years and years. My kids grew up in church. They were raised in church. They were raised in a holiness church. They know about the Spirit of God. They know about the power of God. They know about sin. They know about hell. They know the whole story. But they were not living the life that they knew about. My daughter called me about 2 weeks ago, and we talked about 3 hours. And she was like, Daddy, I've been going through some stuff. I said, what is it, baby? And she was like, I just been going through a lot. She said, I was getting sad. I was getting depressed. I felt like I was not a good enough mama to my girls. Now, mind you, my daughter, her life is about her children, her husband. She just graduated college a while in first year, becoming a nurse. But her whole life has been about her kids. She's a great mom. She's a great wife. That's been her. That's what her life has been about. But she called me. She said, "I feel like I'm failing as a mom. I feel like I failed as a wife. I feel like I was drowning. I felt like I didn't have no purpose anymore. I felt like I had failed my kids. I failed my husband, and I didn't even want to be here no more, Daddy. I just felt so bad about who I was that I just didn't even want to be here no more, Daddy." She said, "I talked to my husband about it because they went on January the 1st was the anniversary, so they had went the weekend for their anniversary." She talked to her husband and was explaining to him what was going on, and said the next day he told her, "I prayed for you last night." She said, "You prayed for me?" She said, "Yes, Morgan, I pray for you." Because granted, they both grew up in the same church. He knows just like we do, but they're not living the life. And so it surprised her that he actually was praying over her. And they began to talk, and it was like the church they go to was like one of those churches that has like motivational speaking on Sundays, and that was it, just a good motivational speaking and go home. And she was like, "Daddy, we talked, and we got to find us another church to go to. We can't do that no more." She said, "I'll come home," and she said her and her mom had went to the store 2 days before that, went to the store together, and she said she cried all the way to the store telling her mom how she felt. Of course, her mom tried to put her on some medicine for it. "Oh, well, you just got anxiety. Let's give you some medicine. I got some at home. You start taking my medicine." And she said, "Daddy, that didn't help me. That made me feel even worse." She said, so I got up. I took the girls to school the next day, and I come back home. I was in the shower. She said, "I started praying because I said, I can't take it no more, Daddy. I couldn't take it no more." So she began to pray. And she said, "Daddy, I don't know what happened." She said, "I ended up in the bottom of my shower, laying on the floor of the shower, crying. It said, power of God hit me and got a hold of me. And I'm not the same, Daddy." She got up. She got dressed. She went and got the girls that afternoon. She brought them home. She cleaned house. She got rid of stuff out of her house. She told her husband, "We're not doing this no more. We're not doing that no more. We're going to find us another church and go to another church. We're going to get back in church like we're supposed to." And I talked to her, and she said, every time I talk, she said, "Daddy, I ain't changing. I ain't going back." They in the process of purchasing a home. She said, "Daddy, as soon as we get it bought, I want y'all to come down. We're going to pray over and anoint our house." Her husband said, "You going to do what?" She said, "Yeah, they're going to come and pray over our house and anoint our home before we even move into it." We all need to get a hold of that encounter again. That encounter to where we're excited, where we have the joy of the Lord as our salvation, that we have that love and that passion for God, that desire to please Him. Not because it's our duty, not because we're trying to check off a box, not because it's our commitment that we're supposed to do, but because we have that genuine love and desire to be with God, to seek God, to have His presence in our life. So tonight, as we get ready to go into prayer, let's go to the scripture again. It says, "Have I not commanded thee, be strong and be of good courage, be not afraid." So we don't have to be afraid of what's going on around us. We don't have to be afraid because greater is He that's in us than he that's in this world. We don't have to be afraid because we know in whom we trust and believe. We know in whom our hope is in. Hope in Him never fails. He never fails. He never lets us down. We may not get what we want when we want it, but He never fails. I've been praying for my daughter for years. But God touched her when He needed to, when it needed to happen. He ministered to her. So don't be afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God, our Abba Father, he is with us wherever we may go. Wherever we may go. Whether you're on your way to work, whether you're on your way to the school, whether you're on your way to the grocery store, or if you're sitting at home by yourself, he is right there with you. He never leaves you. He never forsakes you. So tonight, as we begin to pray, let's ask God to revive anything in us that needs to be revived. If we need a fire revived, revive the fire. If we need our love and our compassion revived, revive the love and passion that we need, God. Whatever in our life that we need you to do to make us more like you, God, do it, God. Bring us to what we need to be, God. We ain't got long to go, people. We ain't got long to go. Our time is almost over with. And it won't be long. We're going to be standing before the Father. I don't want to miss it for nothing in this world. I don't want to miss it for anger. I don't want to miss it for unforgiveness. I don't want to miss it for being lazy. I don't want to miss it for nothing. So, as David gets ready to find us some music, let's all come and pray. Let's all come and seek the Father for ourselves, for each other, for our children, our grandchildren, our families. We all got families that are not where they need to be at. I still got children that are not where they need to be at. But God has got them, and he's going to get them. He's going to get them. So as David finds us some music, let's get ready to pray and seek God.
Sometimes I fall to my knees and pray. Come, Jesus, come. Let today be the day. Sometimes I feel like I'm gonna break, but I'm holding on to a hope that won't fade. Come, Jesus, come. We've been waiting so long for the day you return to heal every hurt and right every wrong. We need you right now. Come and turn this around. Deep down I know this world isn't home. Come, Jesus, come. Come, Jesus, come. There'll be no war, and there'll be no chains when Jesus comes. Let today be the day. He'll come for the weak and the strong just the same, and all will believe in the power of his name. And come, Jesus, come. We've been waiting so long for the day you return to heal every hurt one day you come and we'll stand face to face. Come and lay it all down, 'cause it might be today. The time is right now. There's no need to wait. Your past will be washed by rivers of grace.